Hi, Rachel here again to show you one way to quickly and easily use the paper tears that have been included in the Etc. by Danielle's Bad Santa kit. These are really great elements. You can use them to turn any paper that you have into a piece of torn paper. So I've got a couple papers from the kit up on my screen and one of the paper tears. I've got my green background paper and I want to make this Santa paper look like it's been torn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my paper layer. You can either erase the paper or you can mask it. I like to mask things at least as I'm working because if I make a mistake it's a lot easier to just flip my brush color to get that piece back rather than having to figure out where in my history I made that one mistake that I didn't like when I was erasing. So to use a mask, I add a mask down here. Black is, when you're using a vector mask, black is like your eraser and it gets rid of everything there. So I'm just going to make a whole bunch of really big sweeps, and then I'm going to switch to white because that's going to do the opposite and bring that color back in as I go work these detail spots back in. This works for me because I like to work quick and starting out big and then going in and doing these last minute details just works a little bit easier for me. So now that I've got that down, you could stop here and add a drop shadow to the paper tear, and which in my case is the top layer, and you're ready to go build the rest of your layout. One final thing to give your paper tear just a little bit more dimension. I'm going to come here in my layers palette to my tear layer. I've already added the drop shadow. I am going to right click on the layer effects to get this menu, and I'm going to select create layer. This is going to separate the drop shadow from the layer. So now here I have the tear layer itself and I have a drop shadow layer underneath. I'm going to highlight the drop shadow layer and Command T or Control T to transform it, and up here at the top I'm going to click this warp mode so that I can play with it just a little bit and make the shadow not quite so perfect, so that it's like parts of it are sticking up and parts of it are laying flatter against the paper, just like it would do if I had really torn a piece of paper and added it to a paper layout. So then I'm going to hit enter to accept those transformations, and now you can see up here the shadow is just a little bit further away than it is right down here, so it just gives it a little bit more dimension and texture. Now I can finish up this page, and I have that page that I started all the way finished here, minus pictures, but you can see I used, here's this paper tear we were just working with on the other screen, and you can rotate them a little bit. You can use one or both of them and get some really neat torn effects just with this one little element. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial. I hope it helped you learn a new way to use the paper tears that were included in the Bad Santa kit.